Hey vinyl community, it's Mazzy here, and this is going to be a Whack-A-Mole 41, but first I need to do some thank yous and shout outs because a lot of stuff's going on out there in the world. Not all great, and I'm not going to get into politics, don't worry, that's a whole other thing. I want to do some thank yous, some VCLT thank yous. So using the Whack-A-Mole is kind of a way, it's like a clickbait, it's a way to lure you in to pay attention here. I've been in the VC only about a year and a half. I started, and I think I did 3 videos, and then I totally forgot about it. And then 8 months later, I jumped in, and then I started doing a shitload of videos. And I'll never forget, I didn't want to do shout outs to begin with because I always forget who's who. I know that, okay, I recognize your face, and I know you like this kind of music. And then I remember your handle, but not your real name. And I saw other people so good at it, and I got a handful of shout outs early on, which I really appreciated, just to get the exposure. And it's nice getting the response that people are reacting to. I remember one in particular, once I started coming back and doing a lot, Vinyl Richie said, oh, there's this guy Maslov, Norman Maslov, you know, hey Vinyl community, this is Vinyl Richie. Okay. Anyway, he said the Mazzy comes in and he's just doing a lot of videos. You know, people come in and they do a lot of videos and they disappear. So I took that to heart, and I still do a lot of videos, but so far I haven't disappeared. And I love Vinyl Richie. I'm gonna do some shout outs too, and mainly people who don't have a lot of subscribers, because I think it's nice to kind of get them noticed. Under 500 and a lot way less, under 200 and whatever. The people that are around that you all know, like Steve Carlson and the like, I'm not going to mention Steve Carlson's name or Vinyl Rundown Greg's name, because him and I have an LA-San Francisco rivalry, so I'm not going to mention Greg at the Vinyl Rundown because that Giants-Dodgers rivalry continues to go on. The Two Jews Blues thing. We're going to meet some point and do a great VC video, or several of them or something. But I'm going to mention these, but first I'm going to do a couple of thank yous and a couple of VCLTs. Sort of well, yes. I don't know if you guys know Michael P. Dawson. Michael P. Dawson is from the Bay Area, that lives on the peninsula south of San Francisco. And that's, as you know, and Maslow won't shut up about how much, he loves San Francisco, and he grew up there. He grew up in the Bay Area, and I grew up in San Francisco. But those of you that follow news, just ongoing news, it's incredibly expensive now to live in San Francisco in the Bay Area. It's obscene, and I love it. Still, to me, the most beautiful place, best weather in the whole country overall, moderate, not too hot, not too cold, and it's a gorgeous, a wonderful place to live. But it's gotten to be an expensive place, and Michael B. Dawson has gotten evicted from his apartment, so he's going to have to look for something new. I think he's down the peninsula in Redwood City or Burlingame, which is just south of the city, 30 minutes, give or take. And so he's asking some people to buy his records. He's a musician. Haven't listened to him yet, but I just got him the other day. I think they're kind of fusion-y jazz things, like Paleozoic. Kind of a cool cover. Looks like a little proggy, but I think it's jazzy stuff. Look at Beatle Connection, Insects. Everything has a Beatle connection, remember? So for $20 to buy 2 shipped, I think. But go to his page. I'm going to try to link all these people here. I might not be able to link everyone's, but I'll link Michael Dawson's. Hey, buy some records. And then the other one is the Insect Garden. So he is into the Beatles. He's an insect guy. The Beatles, the Crickets, Buddy Holly and the Crickets. I think it's jazzy. So all compositions, 2015. And he plays concerto, alto flutes, tenor sax, bass, clarinet, Moog synthesizers. Boy, this guy knows his shit. He knows how to play an instrument. I haven't heard these yet, so later on I'll play them and get back to you at some point on them. But he features albums quite a bit. He's very professorial, and I mean that in the best possible way. He's not all wambly dambly like Mazzy here, where loose lips sink ships when it comes to my videos. But watch his videos and support him if you can. But he also stuck in a couple of VCLTs. Brian Prothero, You. I have no idea what this is. I've never heard this. Chrysalis Records. Looks like a 70s record. I have no idea what this is. They look, oh, wait a second. Produced by Del Newman. Is that the Del Newman who worked with Kate Bush? No, I'm thinking of Del something or other. Anyway, looks a little proggy. No? Jazzy proggy? Who knows? But we'll check this out. I don't know this ever. And he sent me this. I don't have this version of it. This is a reissue salvo of when, this is when Procol Harum went to Warner Brothers. Something Magic. Couple good cuts on this. You know I'm a big Procol Harum fan. I think I featured this, but I don't have this pressing with the extra. This has the extra tracks. So I don't have this. And since I'm a Procol Harum fan, it's great to get an expanded edition. So thank you, Michael. I wish you luck finding a place. I know how hard it is to get housing in the Bay Area, especially at a reasonable, affordable price. And then Robert from Ohio. Robert from Ohio inboxes me a lot on Facebook, and we have conversations back and forth on the vinyl community thing there. Apparently he used to make videos years ago, doesn't really anymore, but we've created an online friendship of sorts, and he doesn't make videos, but he watches my videos and he's always commenting. So I want to thank him, but he paid attention. He paid attention, and he sent me this J.J. Cale record. Now what this is, I'm a big J.J. Cale fan, and I mentioned just casually, I'm about to do a feature on J.J. Cale. There's several artists I'm going to do features on that are similar yet not similar. J.J. Cale, John Hyatt, and Van Morrison. I don't know, there's a certain rootsy thing about all of them. Bluesy, rootsy, folksy, rocky, jazzy. But this record, he died about 6 years ago. I'm a big J.J. Cale fan, so I won't share any details about J.J. only because I'm going to do a full-on later. But this came out in early this year, and it's tapes that his wife brought that were not quite finished. Maybe they're finished, but they never released, and it's supposed to be great. And I just casually mentioned I didn't have it, and he sent me this VCLT. So how cool is that? J.J. Cale. Really amazing. So the shout out people, I just wanted to mention these people because I have fun with them. And they comment, and we go back and forth occasionally, some more than others, and you know a lot of them, but I highly suggest you go to these people in no particular order. Okay, Paul in Austin. The music capital of the world, of the country, Austin, Paul, Too Many 45s. Great symmetrical pillows on the sofa. Great source of knowledge, and just really into the music. Also wears a hat. Hey, that gives me, that excites Mazzy. Oh, Eric Weinbender. I'm not going to mention him because he's getting up there, but I'm not going to mention Eric, but he was asking, he doesn't like to stand up usually because he doesn't know what to do with your hands. This is what you do with your hands, Eric. And then you show like records and you do the Mazzy flip, and that's what you do, Eric. I love Eric. We love Pink and we love Eric. Okay, Emma Vinyl Light, 8 Vinyl Low, great stuff. I think she's getting up there though, so I probably shouldn't have mentioned her, but she's still newish to me, and newish is within, 3-4 months? Time goes by when you're having a blast. Julius Jabber, another Southern California guy. You LA guys, you California guys, he's great. I enjoy his stuff, and he's so into jazz. And it looks like he almost felt embarrassed because he did a really quick rock one, like so fast, I could hardly see the records. But he kept going on for about an hour, it seems like, showing some rock and roll stuff. Don't be embarrassed. We want to see more of the other stuff too. But I love your jazzy stuff. And he's really knowledgeable and has a very, very cool collection. So Julius, love you, babe. Don't ever change. That's how you talk to LA people. I don't know if you're right in Los Angeles or where you are down there. I go down there a lot. At some point we want to do a collective thing maybe down there. Christopher Keebler, Kibler has been commenting, and we've had a little back and forth things on our pages. Love his stuff. He's way back there. He's like, he sits, and this is not a cup. I think I want to see your records more. This is kind of like, here's my new record by Pink Floyd. That's Steve Miller Band. I know, I just want to see the record more, but I love his style, his easy goingness, and again, any music lover, so I love it. I like doing impressions, so I hope I don't offend anyone. It's not really trying to make fun. It's just I love everybody's style. It's all about style. I don't mean style in terms of fashion sense, but the setup you do, the way you interact with us, and how we react. And I love them all. You know, I love all these people. Okay. Oh, Mike, Jam on Vinyl. Jam on Vinyl, East Coast. Is he a Jersey boy, Long Island boy, big Bruce Springsteen boy? But I love that stuff. I love seeing the drum set in the background and all this stuff. But I love that since he's a teacher, he has gotten really into Smithsonian and our Hooli, Folkways, jazz, folk label, roots, blues music, Native American history of music and stuff. And I love that stuff. I know a little about it. I've had conversations and new people, the labels about it. And it's just, I love, he's the only person I see really showing that kind of stuff. I don't even have a lot of it. I have a lot of it on digital form, but not a lot of vinyl. But I know a bunch of that, you know, being in retail, we used to sell all that stuff. So anyway, Mike, Jam on Vinyl, to the boss, a lot of boss people. And that brings me to John at Digital Gramophone. You only have like under 300 subscribers. Now, John, okay, everybody, I want everyone watching this video to subscribe to John at Digital Gramophone. The lowest key guy, but not really anymore. I think he's studying taking acting classes or reading like Stanislavski or Stella Adler or something. I kind of kid. But he has the greatest self-deprecating subtitles. Incredible. And since he's my biggest fan, and if you think that's an egotistical thing, you don't know the history here. Love John. I'm going to meet John. I almost, made him tear up a few times. And he, like I turned my TV on upstairs, and if you watched the video he did for my last contest, you know why I'm really paranoid. I want to put a sheet over at night to make sure John's not staring through. So John, William Now, Bradley, I wish I could just sit outside all day showing records. A lot of times he's outside. I don't want my records to warp, but he shows some really cool jazz stuff. I think you're in California too. Are you somewhere there? But he has really kind of cool records and a cool, easygoing demeanor. And I really like his taste in jazz. He does some other things once in a while too. But William Now, is that from Shakespeare? I'm forgetting now. I think of Morrissey, the Smiths, or Shakespeare. William Now, and your name is Bradley. Did I not study up on that? Did I not see your introduction? Why you're William Now? I don't know. Local bandography, Dave. I think I called you John once, and I'm sorry. Dave has the most out there avant-garde jazz stuff that I have no idea. I picked up, I forgot the guy's name right now. I had to write or find a record store in Spain to ship me this record that was one of his favorites. Kind of a little rock and a little pop, but very Spanish, majestic Spanish. It seems like something that Dave, I wouldn't think of Dave latching onto that record, but I just loved it. And it's become one of my favorites of the year. It'll probably be in my best of in the end of the year as well. And I love how he shows these kind of punky, heavy metal, industrial noise live concerts occasionally. Great taste, and he's one of the Southern boys down there with John and Chris and who else? Dylan. Anyway, Chris Has a Spins. We all love Chris Has a Spins, the nicest guy in the VC community next to Vinylverse, Bill. But I'm not talking about Bill because I think he already is above 500. Sorry, Bill. You know, one chance I get to do a video without mentioning Phil Collins. And then there is, oh, here's a guy that you got to watch, and I'm going to link him, I think. I'm going to link him, Tone Arm Tango Travis. He doesn't do a lot of videos, and he's the only guy I know that he's like the rescuer of records. He'll go into old used record stores or junk shops, and if there's a record lying there without a cover that's sitting there, he'll grab it, bring it home, and rehabilitate it. The cover could be ragged and torn. He used to work all night, so he'd come and do these videos in the morning, I guess, or whenever he got off work. Now he's on a regular, traditional thing. He's in the Midwest or South. Sounds like he works in a techie thing, like related to Marvel, maybe, or online thing. Who knows? Maybe he's a superhero and we just don't know it. But Travis, Tone Arm Tangle. I think he only has like 150 or less subscribers, and he's been around a long time. But he's one of those guys whenever I see it, I just watch him. He's just relaxing. He's a guy I want to sit and have a drink with. I mean, all of you people I want to sit and have drinks with, or at least stand and have drinks with, or do a whack-a-mole. Bob in Nashville. The Bob Bradleys, is that right? I don't know. He has got a lot of followers though, but I love his guitar thing. I love his pew pew sound effects. I like him and his buddies back and forth they're doing lately, but he's always good because he does good editing, sound effects, great musical taste, great guitar player. So we love you, but anyway. Blues vinyl guy Chris, blues vinyl guy, or I always say blues guy vinyl, but blues vinyl guy. Up in Canada, I won his blues contest, or his favorite blues contest, and he was very generous in that. Great demeanor. Of course, another guy with a hat and a goatee and glasses. What can you not love? I don't know if we're going to get to the whack-a-mole here. Maybe we'll just pick one this time. Giggins. Okay, Giggins is new to me, fairly new. It seems like he stole his dad's entire record collection to start out with, but he's really doing the whole Beach Boy things going on. I kind of kid because we're going to see if my son ever wants to grab onto my record collection. He's not really into vinyl, likes music a lot, but this is all his at some point. He'll have to deal with it. Giggins, there you go. Jimmy the Saint, UK, Daz, does great features. James Cottle, okay, James Cottle, another Canadian. You know, the king, to me now, he's my current king of the box set unboxing videos. He's always unboxing the box sets, the expanded stuff, and I love to see that. I'm addicted a little bit to box sets. I don't get all the ones he does, and I probably get other ones, but it's great to see what somebody's going to look like. I think I just watched his Doors, Come On, Touch Me, Soft Parade 50th. He just showcased this morning. So Jamie Cottle. And know who you look like? Ash from the Evil Dead series. What's the actor's name? The B actor who's in all the Evil Dead movies. Ash. You look a little like him. I'm a fan of him. Okay, Vinyl Fetish. Okay, we gotta talk here. Vinyl Fetish, and I'm blanking out on both your names, but their little quote, if you look in their description, is a couple of whiskey drinking, vinyl licking music lovers. They're in Portland, Oregon, and beautiful couple, interesting dynamic, especially when they're liquored up. It's funny, but he's into a lot of he's closer to my age. No, he's probably, and she's a lot younger, which makes the dynamic really interesting. Beautiful couple, beautiful stuff. I love watching them. They don't do a lot, and lately he's done a couple of solos. He's into a lot of the stuff from the 70s, 80s, and ELO. He just did, and he's a big Beatle fan, McCartney fan, but they do a lot of stuff. Not a lot of videos though, and I'd love to see more. So, Vinyl Fetish. You have no idea how perfect that name is. Okay, Psychedelic Snow, Sean. You're just the last month or two we're new together, dating, going back and forth. He just showed some great psychedelic album covers. I love those album covers. I love that stuff. There's a lot of that psych stuff, even though I like it or I've seen it, I have no idea. It's kind of like when I watched Dan's Dots and Loops. I'm not mentioning you, Dan, because you have like 3 million subscribers, so you're not part of this call out. Randall Weaver shows a lot of great stuff. I mean, he's into like the Grateful Dead and some cool jazz stuff, and he has really good taste, and love his stuff. And I think he's got 2 turntables there too, off to the left, as I recall. I'm going to close out, and here's the thing. This is why I've never done one of these shout outs, because you're waiting for your name, even though if you're not really, you're thinking, well, maybe Mazzy, does he watch my channel, or whoever or does someone watch Mazzy's channel? There's so many, and I watch them. I don't know the names yet. So these are the ones that I've kind of remembered the names lately. I kind of went through to remind myself, and there's probably some I forgot, some obvious choices. So, maybe I'll do another one of these at some point. It's just, I don't know. People want to see records, but I think the shout outs are good because I'm very thankful that people have embraced and watched my channel, and they seem to be coming back for more. And I looked on the analytics finally. I hadn't done that before, and I just recently kind of forced myself to have access to that, and I realized 51% of my viewers are subscribers, 49% are not. This is kind of like the fucking American blue and red voting thing. Is amazing. So just think of another 10% of non-subscribers would subscribe. Well, what if they all did? Anyway, that was really interesting. But what I want to mention is Jim also. Jim at Vinyl Designs, because his channel is, it's beautifully done. He's really into the music. He grew up in the Bay Area, lives in Santa Rosa. There's a tragedy that 2 years ago, I believe it was, a year ago, or maybe it's 2 years ago now, his house burned down with the big fires in California, Northern California, in Santa Rosa, and he's building his house, and he's about finished. And I know he hasn't been on here in the last few weeks because he's really coming to the closing ends of building a house, and having gone through major renovation in the past, especially in the Bay Area, I know how grueling and time-consuming and just crazy that can be. And I can only imagine now, there's been some horrendous fires up north in the wine country, not probably far from where he is. So I hope none of these fires are affecting him. And I have a handful of friends who've had to move out of their houses, and it's been a shit show up there with PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, shutting off power, people not having power for 3-4 days. Now, in the grand scheme of things, if your power is the only thing that's happening, hey, you're lucky. But the fires there, the fires in Southern California, climate change exists. This bullshit about people denying it, especially what's going on today. And this is where I'm going to get political away, because it shouldn't be a political issue. It's a human issue. Look what's been happening in the Carolinas with the storms on the East Coast, Florida, New York, Texas, the rest of the country. This ain't just a California thing. And for this fucking president to say he's not going to support and pay for Californians because they have to manage their fire, tree, urban area, rural areas, he's full of shit. If you don't like it, I am sorry. That is a bullshit thing. These things are happening, and all these things are just expanding. Growing up in Bay Area, it was never like this my entire life. Once in a while you had, a flooding situation, El Nino. Once in a while you've had a little fire thing here and there, but nothing like what's been going on almost every year now. So, Mazzy pontificates at the end and gives his opinionated lecture thing. But I'm just going to go pull one album to end this, to make this in a whack-a-mole number 42. So, here we go. Okay, I got to pull another one because I have 2 copies of this. And in fact, one second, the reason I got to pull something else, because Okay. I pulled David Bowie's The Next Day. This is 2013. I believe this is the album that came out before his final album. And the designer, some people hated this cover. I thought it was brilliant. The designer went back and I saw a whole dissertation or a whole design thing on him, how he came up with some of these ideas. You all know Heroes? Well, this is what he did with Heroes. Loud, intense album, great record, not as good as the final one, Black Star, but I just love the idea of this cover. And of course, I had to get this Paul Smith limited edition on red vinyl that came out, so I do have 2 copies of this. So maybe a fitting end, a one-off whack-a-mole this time with Mazzy, David Bowie, The Next Day. But I wish all my California friends good luck with the fires and the PG&E things. I thank everyone for watching, really at the bottom of my heart. Thanks for the VCLT. It was fun recently meeting Hannah and Bo and Dan at Blue Dots at the Seattle Record Fair, and I'd hope to meet more of you. I would love to take a drive around the country and do stop-offs and do a video and meet people. Probably ain't gonna happen in the near future, but we'll see. But again, if you ever heading through Seattle, give me a shout out and maybe we can meet up and have a cocktail, or you can share whack. You know, I always have to go there with the innuendos and the cheap ass jokes. Anyway, Mazzy does love you, and thanks for the music. Take care. Okay, this is an addendum. It's like, you know how on CDs there's like 3 minutes of silence and then all of a sudden there's one fucking hidden song. As neat as I am, and you kind of know I'm fairly organized now that you've seen my space and the way I work here, but I have 2 things that I'm not neat. I'm not neat in preparing, or I'm not organized in preparing. So literally I turn the camera on and most of the time I just go with it. Improvisation works for me. I can't do A, B, C, D. That's why I'm horrible at dissertations. Also with my notes. These are my notes, cheat sheet, a bunch of little sticky notes where I posted the names of the people I wanted to shout out, because I'm not going to remember them all. I mean, as much as I remember, 40, 50 years ago of records, which I do, I don't remember a week ago, 2 weeks ago, names, exactly who I wanted to say, and you always forget someone. So I feel like at the Oscars, oh my God, I forgot to thank my wife, my son, my producer, my agent. Anyway, I did forget, and there's one I really like. So if you're waiting to see who this is, and I guess I should tack this on the very end. Like, now I totally forgot again. No. God damn it. You people, you vinyl. Oh, Rob at Sounds Strange. Rob, who's from Ireland. I'm not gonna, typical Americans. What we like to do, we like to jump into do the Irish accent, and we totally fuck it up. If I was to do, see, I'm not gonna even try. I can't do it, at least not on camera. But he lives in Spain with his wonderful wife or girlfriend or partner who was in one of his videos recently. But Rob, you have the most incredible taste that's so out there of what I'm used to. I do know, I have some avant-garde taste. I do have some classical. The best thing that ever happened to me in terms of my classical education was when I worked at my first record store job, was called the Warehouse Record Store. And all our classical records were not in alphabetical order. They were not by composer like Bach, Beethoven, Sibelius, Tchaikovsky, whoever. Of course, those are the normal people you probably wouldn't even show. But they were listed in order by Schwann catalog number. And I wish I had a Schwann catalog to show you. I think that Schwann catalogs are around from the 40s or from the 50s. And they'd come out monthly, And it was mostly classical, some soundtracks, some jazz, not rock and roll or anything. It was a catalog of releases and things in print. And so you'd have to go look under, you know, if you wanted a Brahms, you'd go to Deutsche Grammophon, it would have all the letters, or Angel Classics, or, you know, the budget labels as well. And our record store, so I had to learn classical about the composers of opera, the composers of, you know, 20th century music, whether it's, you know, the conductors, the modernists, I mean, whoever it was, but I had to know and I had to learn the specific conductors. Like if you wanted a von Karajan Beethoven set, you go with the DGG thing, unless someone didn't want it because he was a fucking Nazi at one point, or Nazi sympathizer. So they went with, you know, maybe a later Beethoven's by Bernstein, more contemporary, or, you know, or a piano thing like Horowitz piano concertos or something. So I got a touch of that stuff. So Rob, what you show me excites me. I'm easily excited, I guess. No. But it's really interesting, and how you, I mean, Steve Carlson and I would get totally fucked up trying to pronounce half those names of composers and artists that you show. But sorry that this is on the tail end, and none of these reflect importance or favoritism or everything. But that's one that, Rob, your videos stand out because you're in a little direction. You're not just showing fucking Led Zeppelin records or Dead Kennedys records or Beatles records or Kate Bush records like me. You're educating some of us who are interested in partaking with that. So thanks again. Mazzy loves you all, and thanks for watching.